Oh, we make it official. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time to have some fun tonight. Welcome to the new Activator Stagnate Show. Your host, Gregory Griffith, and I'm here to have some fun tonight because there's a lot going on, a lot to talk about. And you know what? I want to be the one to inform you because what's happening out here, what's trending in America, what's going on, how do we combat it, how do we stop it? I don't know, but I know one thing. I know how we can deal with it because guess what? Some things you just really don't have any control over. And you know what some of those things are tonight? We're talking about cola. We're talking about inflation. We're talking about decisions that we're all supposed to vote on, but apathetically speaking, we only got about 65% of this country voting. So tonight on the Activator Stagnate Show, I'm solo. Coming up in a couple of weeks, though, my man will be in the house here. Dr. Johnny James and Susie from Willpower. They're going to be doing a special tribute at the Hard Rock here, and they're going to be on the show. But tonight, I want to focus on the things that are going on with us that all of us have to deal with. And trust me when I say, man, we truly have to deal with that. So, you know, when I stop the music, I make it official and say to you, welcome once again to the show. And I really want to say, man, that tonight's show is very, very special to me. All of them are, but on the night after, we just had quite a few things going on and some things that are trending right now, man, that are really game changers. And the first thing I want to do, though, I want to just start on somewhat of a positive note because my man LeBron James, let's talk about it. The man, 41 years old, ladies and gentlemen, he went into the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, brought about just an uproar almost already at 41 years old. You know, to LeBron, the money's nothing, only $8 million. But guess what? Boy, that's still a lot of money by the average American standard, though LeBron's a billionaire. And the reason I'm starting off him tonight is because it's very simple. I want you to understand something that's critically important. LeBron James mastered something that the philosophy that I live by, the nuclei of the show tonight, he learned to monetize his passion. And if you're 18, 28, 38, or even 68, it's never too late to manifest your greatness. So the shift in the show, it formerly was called the GG Factor. You know, tonight is going to be the Greg Griffith perspective, but it's the Activator Stagnate Show for one reason. There are people out here with pain points. There are people out here dealing with the fear of failure. They're dealing with stagnation. They're dealing with, you know, toxic people, toxic environments. So your alternative to all of that is to just be about your business. Boy, you got to be about your business, about being the best version of yourself that you can be. In other words, to define yourself here, to activate your true AI, your authentic identification, and to function at your maximum potential. So in order to do that, a lot of times people get so caught up in the situations about their jobs that they forget to understand this. When you're living from a place of passion, purpose, and possibility, man, boy, I've been living that all my life, and nothing can stop you. From the day that Gregory Griffith left Florida A&M University, FAMU, that was a little tongue-tied. When I left FAMU, Florida A&M University, back in the 70s, and jumped on the back of a U-Haul truck, went to New York City, lived over in Newark, New Jersey, I had that kind of passion. And you know something? The reason why I'm using me as an example tonight, man, 6 months later, I had a record deal. And let's fast forward 40 years later. I may not be a rock star, y'all, but guess what? I'm still getting some paychecks because I just love my music. I just love what I'm doing in the music business, managing talent, producing live shows, corporate events, weddings, things like that. Might not be a rock star, but a brother getting what? A paycheck. You know something? Time and space won't erase that. Find something that you can monetize tonight. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we're living in very fragile times. The cold effect is one that you never forget. And the reason why I've been able to stay a little bit ahead of that curve and just kind of stay on top of my little game is because, I'm a retired teacher, did 31 years in the school system, got my undergraduate in business from FAMU, from the School of Business there, but I got my master's degree in Miami down there at Barry University. And the reason why I went to graduate school is because I want to make me an example of somebody I need to talk to tonight. you might just need to take a pivot. Facebook, Instagram, who else I got? YouTube tonight. You know, you guys got to understand LinkedIn. You just might need to take a pivot. And I'm gonna say this when it's time to take a pivot. I'm gonna do exactly what my little club say right here, man. You just get started and you never give up. The hardest part, just recognizing that change is good, recognizing you need to take that pivot. And it took me a long time, and I was kind of forced in the corner to take the pivot because, as a full-time musician for almost all the way through my 20s until my 30s as a professional entertainer, all I did was play music for a living. Couple of record deals, toured, opened for people like Marvin Gaye, Harold, people like Betty Wright, KC and the Sunshine Band, Anita Ward, Fox AT Connection, Bobby Caldwell, people who were in the same company. I was back there with Henry Stone and Steve Alamo. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I watched them, an independent record label in Miami, Florida, that just launched themselves into, unbelievable success with a few people that believed in what their dream was at that time in their lives. And they had to believe in themselves first. When I jumped on that truck back in Jersey and went up with my sister Ruby Baker and several other musicians, we all had this just unanimous dream that we could record, that we could write our own music. So whoever I'm talking to tonight, that don't quit your job. Don't say that Gregory Griffith told you to do that, because I didn't. We're only about 6 or 7 minutes into this tonight, but I wanted to open the show and bring to your attention that when you learn to monetize your passion, when you learn to activate your P3 theory, your passion, your purpose, and you knock on the door to the universe, man, it's a sure shot that you'll be a winner. Because one thing I've always said when I was a teacher, and I taught all my kids this, as on 7 years as a head coach for cross country, the only limitations that exist are the ones you place upon yourself. And if I could be the one tonight to activate that kind of mindset shift for you, then you've activated a mindset of a winner. And I'm telling you something, man, it's nothing like waking up, doing something you want to do and getting paid for it. And no matter what the economy is doing, that you are producing a product, or you are rendering a service, or doing both. Both these books behind me, I've seen revenue from them. And I still can see revenue for them. I met in high school last week that I taught for 16 years. Shout out to Bradford too. And I'll be coming there to do an empowerment session with them. I'll be coming there to fire them up about what it means to work in harmony, to be as one. Because everybody thought you're producing some kind of service, or some type of product, and making this whole world turn around. And for me, everything that I learned to do that way, that I had a passion for, it just kind of worked out for me, man. When that first book behind me, Activate or Stagnate, was actually placed in all the vocational schools in the Broward County school system, man, I said, whoa! But you know what? I was so fired up to do that keynote that day. I would have done it just to be pro bono, just to have some sweat equity in the game. And they called me up and they said, guess what, Mr. Griffith? We got some funds. And it was the first time I ever made that much money in my life in 20 minutes. So is there something you can produce? Is there something you have a passion for? Is there something you can do in your life like LeBron James, like Simone Biles, like Tom Brady, like Meryl Streep, like Jim Carrey, like Denzel Washington, like Halle Berry? They learn to master just this one thing that they love to do. You may become that great doctor, that great lawyer, that entrepreneur, your own restaurant, your mechanic shop. That's what the Activate or Stagnate show is all about. Finding your pain point that's stagnating you. Get off the bench of procrastination. Say, yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I must trust the process. Like I said, when I adopted the mindset and passed it on to my kids for 31 years and telling them, because I was a special needs teacher, and man, it was nothing like seeing kids who had cognitive deficits, kids who, against all odds said, yes, sir, Mr. G, I believe I can do this. And they did it. So tonight, maybe you just want to be that winner. Before we even get into everything that's trending around us, all that's going on, I thought we just have a good old open conversation I'm holding up one of my medals from 25 marathons. A bunch of them are behind me. And I remember when I couldn't even run a mile. And all I'm saying to anyone is that the same thing that stopped me until I was already in my 40s from running even one of these marathons was the fear of failure, the fear that I couldn't do it. And I kept letting and talking myself out of it. So my question tonight, before we get into what's trending, what's going is, are you living your why? Or are you living a lie? And then it might be why not, and why not you, man? Why not you? Why can't you be the next one with a best-selling book? Why can't you be the next one that'll create a product on the digital platform that everybody's going hula about? Today I watched Tamron Hall on her talk show. I was just sitting there having a little sandwich and thought I'd turn her on and watch her. And she had something called what was it? What was the service quest? What did I write that down? I don't want to say the name incorrectly, but it was something I wrote down that just blew me away. That this young lady was out here just having a grand good time, helping people just do something they never done, have a little fun, and just step out of the box. And man, she has some incredible guests on. And the point I'm trying to bring to you about this is very simple. Every last one of those people that was there, everyone that she talked to, they were doing something they'd never done before. And I'm looking for this man's name because I wanted to respectfully acknowledge him tonight. But I guess I don't see it. I'm not going to worry about it. But the gentleman is a psychologist, and he was talking about the functionality of the brain. He says how something happens in you when you decide to do something you never done, to be something you never been. And that's what this young lady was about. She calls herself the step out of the box queen on over on TikTok, on Instagram. She this I think it was the service quest. Be on this random service quest that they'll run up to people that they never met, talk to them, ask them to do something they never done. And these random people in New York City would do these things. So I'm just going to pose a question tonight. Have you thought about something you're not doing that you really want to do, that you want to activate? Because this psychologist, man, this PhD in neurological therapy said that once you decide to do something like that, it triggers something in your brain. It becomes a dominant Well, uh, I'm going to try it again over here with my friends that I was with over here. Be back to you guys. And man, that was very interesting. But Miriam, let me know if I'm back. Look like my screen picked back up. I don't know what happened, man. But you know what? Where I was, I'm going to just say this. Yeah, I want to let people know, man. Whatever that was with my stream that kicked off its back. But I want to just not just leave on the tail end of that. Live your passion. Ask yourself, get up in the mirror and look in the mirror over there at Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn today. Look there and see what's up. And I don't know what's going on here, but I continue to keep losing my signal. I don't know what it might be. I was live there, Miriam. Now it's I don't see it though. I keep getting clicked off with all kind of things here. It's just a technical thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and maintain right now that I want to pick up where I was leaving off to tell you this. There's some things going on, man. But I started with LeBron James because I just want people to understand that if you find one thing you can master in your life, define yourself from it, activate your true identity with it, and function at your maximum potential to do it. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. And I promise you that at the end of the day, I mean, we're all given this unique gift to give to this planet. And that's all your mindset. You just got to find something that you love to do. And I just used LeBron James as an example. There was another actress that was over on, I think it was CBS this morning the other day. I'm just telling you what's going on around us, what people are doing. Her name is Lauren Hutton. Lauren Hutton is 82 years old. And even as a senior citizen, she's still getting called to do things with her talent. But she was a person that wanted to be a model. And she was highly, highly criticized for a gap in her teeth and told by every single modeling agency, 5 or 10 of the best in New York City, you can't do it. And the reason why I'm bringing up Lauren Hutton is because she was told no, 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 and to the point that she finally got something that told her, yes, I can, yes, I will, yes, I can, trust the process. And when she did that, something happened in her life. She got opportunities. Doors open. And she became, and this is the point I want to make about people, a lady born in New Orleans, went to college, got out of college and say, I want to live in New York City. I want to be a success story. She just wanted to take pictures and have a good time in New York City, and was discovered as a model and became the first model. Here's the point I'm making about all of this. She became the first model to earn the one in the history of the modeling business and been on the cover of Vogue more than anyone in the history of that. But she overcame the obstacles to no, 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 no. And Lauren Hutton, I hope I resonate with you tonight. Lauren Hutton hit the Big Bang Theory, and the rest is history. She actually went broke. Her and her boyfriend for over 3 decades traveled the whole world. She trusted him to manage everything that she got. We'll talk about that lesson later about managing your money. But the point is, she had such a belief in her talent. This woman lost over $13 million and say, oh, I don't care about that. And the guy on CBS this morning asked her a very simple question. Do you regret that? She said, oh, of course not. I would do it all over again. Because guess what? Because she believed in her intellectual property. She believed in the passion that she had as a model, as an actress. And she went on to be started Pretty Woman, all kind of great, big Hollywood blockbuster movies. A woman with a gap in her teeth told her she couldn't do it, that she didn't speak right, she didn't have quite the look they wanted. The rest is history. After losing $13 million, being in the valley, lost it all, went back, started modeling again, and made twice as much money. Who am I talking to when you fall down and you fall in the valley tonight? Who am I talking to when it's time for you to activate or stagnate? Who am I talking to tonight when you got to look at your time management, how you spending your time and your lifestyle management? What's your should I say, me, myself, and I? What's your why? Trust me, man. If you believe in it, and you trust that it's something that says that I'm awesome, you say that I'm unique, you say that I'm amazing, you say that I love this, it's going to love me back, and I'm going to give it to the universe. I trust you. I say passion, purpose, and knock, knock, knock. The universe will give you that opportunity of infinite possibilities. Now I'm going to shift the gears right now because we got kind of knocked down and crazy with our loss on the signal there. My apologies. I got to talk about what's going on with us politically right now. 150,000 Haitians are at risk to be sent back to a living hell. Haiti is a living hell right now. Every single day, gangs are just maliciously bombarding the community, taking over people, taking over homes, taking over businesses, taking over people. And our administration, which is kind of scary to me, man, they decide that you are only here on what they call a TPS. What is that? Temporary something support. Let me look at I want to make sure I got that right. I don't want to mess that up tonight. I wrote it down here. Temporary protective status because of a earthquake hit Haiti years ago, and the United States allowed people to just come into our country as a safe haven. Now, here's the point I'm making. Since that, that interruption by Mother Nature, nothing we can do about that, but, deal with reacting to that. They've decided now, okay, your stay is up here. These people ain't done nothing to nobody. All they did was come here and try to make an honest earning. I've worked closely with the Haitian community. I own an apartment building in North Miami, Florida, North Miami Beach, that is, for 20 years. And 50% of the people who I rented to were Haitians. They paid their rent. They worked hard. They took care of the properties. They were very respectful people. And all of a sudden, and you have to have that question mark, is it consternation? Is it because they're Haitian? If 150,000 Japanese people came here like that, would they do that? Asian people, Latin people, I wonder would they do that? And I have to ask myself that question. Why this group? Why this sector? Now, if you go looking for these people and somebody's a rapist, a thug, stealing, killing, out here trying to bomb schools and all kind of whack stuff, and you know that there are victims like that, then I don't care who you are. Forget about Haitians. Get out this country, especially if you're here illegally. They have been granted permission. So tonight, one of the topics I have that I just wanted to bring up was where does it stop when it comes from the politics of alienated rights? All of us are here to be under this umbrella of the Constitution, to live and do what we can do. How can some people, like in the state of Florida, write up something like this, allow people to come in, and then all of a sudden, and they're all right there in Miami, Florida, right here in my backyard. They didn't go up to New York. They didn't go to California or Texas. They're all right here in Florida, and they're trying to just deport them out of here. And I bet you 90% of these people, boy, they work hard. They work hard. They respect their families. They believe in family. And they're making the contributions as consumers of goods and services in this country, ladies and gentlemen. And all I'm saying is, come on, man. They give it ICE. The Immigration Control Company, they give Immigration Enforcement, they're giving ICE the permission to come in and find these people one by one, 150,000, and get them out of here and send them to a living hell. An archbishop, and I'm moving fast with my little notes here. I wanted to recognize him. There's an archbishop, I think his name is Thomas Winsky. Don't hold me down to that. I want to make sure I got his name correctly. But point I'm trying to make is this. Yes, I was correct. Archbishop Thomas Winsky and a giant cohort of people are in the capital city, D.C., right now in a huge protest against this move, because they know if they're deported, their families, their children, and everything, their husbands, their wives, They're going back first and foremost to there's no real infrastructure for living there. It's a living hell. So you already know that. So why would you want to do this? It just makes no sense to me. And I wish someone, if you, I don't have an open mic call in, but if you want to hit me in the chat and tell me how you feel about it, what do you think would be the alternative? Dude, the question is simply this, man. Just like Scornish anybody on CNN. Do you think the TPS should be ended? Temporary protection support to the Haitians should be ended today. Are you like Archbishop Winsky? We, the strongest country in the world, living under the umbrella of humanitarian services to our public, should we, at a time like this of turmoil in that country, send those people back? Come on, man. Somebody help me out with that. I just wanted to put that one out there to tonight, talk about it. And did you know also today, which I found extremely interesting, and I had no idea until I did a little research into this. Zelensky's in town. Netanyahu's in town from Israel. Zelensky from the Ukraine. And they also had today, and may he rest in peace, R.I.P., Senator Graham, man. Senator Lindsey Graham, I think he was 71, 72 years old. As far as I'm concerned, that's a young man. He right around my age, man. And I'm still ticking and kicking. I went out and walked myself 2.5 miles a day. And yesterday I swam in my pool for about an hour. So to me, when you even hit your 60s and 70s, honestly speaking, if you're basically living in alignment and taking care of yourself, man, you could be around another 20, 30 years. Lindsey's gone. And he's one of the great ones, a true humanitarian human being. Former Vice President Pence said, a great patriot, a great politician, and a great friend. And when a former Vice President of the United States can say that about you, my friends, boy, that's quantifiable. I'm not a big advocate of the temperament in the presiding administration right now, not at all. No, not at all. I mean, I just don't understand a lot of what happens. It's baffling to me. But on a day like today, putting all politics aside, doesn't matter where your life is leaning on the left, leaning on the right. Today, I just want to say that we need more people who were like Lindsey Graham from a humanitarian perspective. Because he spearheaded. He was the big dog behind all the support that we finally gave to the Ukraine for Zelensky. I didn't know that until I did a little inside scoop on it, man. And you got to understand something about what's going on. And while everything is going on with Israel, while everything is going on now with Iran, man, while everything is going on right now, that them boys over there in Ukraine still fighting with Russia, man. And you know why Russia want to take over the Ukraine? A little education for you. Some people may or may not know. The Ukraine produced 40% of the grain in that region. So now that Russia already got enough power, they want to muscle in and just take over this country. But Lindsey Graham went to bat, boom, 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 and just kept saying, no. Funding for their defense over there, for protection over there. And the man went to his dying grave. So I know somewhere up there in the ethers of heaven that he's got his place there. But don't you find that kind of ironic that on a day like today, with Zelensky in town, Netanyahu in town, that they would have those services at the Capitol for Lindsey Graham. So my point for bringing all of this up is this. It all ties into everything I've been talking about tonight from a very humanitarian perspective. We have so much going on in this country, man. Every time I look up, I try not even watch the news that much or watch any of that stuff because I don't care. If you turn on the CBS, the NBC, the ABC, the CNN, Fox, I don't care who it is, News Nation, you name it, man. You turn it on, And if you got it on within 5 or 10 minutes at prime time, or CBS this morning, or ABC this morning, or GMAC in the afternoon, there's always something tragic going on, and you try to figure out what happened. What happened when someone just decides to just kill his whole family and then turn the gun on and kill himself? What happens when a woman, they got on trial right now, just they say something happened and snap with the woman and she killed all 3 of her kids? You know what happens, man, when people are just I don't know, man, just everything is exterminated. They're expired not by their own cause. And my point to that is that we are dealing with a mental health crisis around the world. You could imagine the trauma that everybody who's a victim, the innocent civilians of war, what they're dealing with right now. I want you to digest that. I'm sitting my butt here in beautiful South Florida. I'm so blessed, man. I could get up and take a walk today. The sun's shining on me, man. I don't have to worry about a bomb going off. That's why the one thing I will say to the defense of our existing administration, thank you. Thank you, whatever you're doing, to just keep them from finding a way to infiltrate us like they did in 9/11. Because, boy, we don't want another situation like that. Now, I know the etiologies of why we're in Iran right now, 135, I think they say, $1 billion later. I mean, man, countless months of war. We thought the ceasefire was happening. Now it's activated again. They're saying they have the ability to create these nuclear bombs that could just zap portions of our country in a blink. So, yep, I don't have a problem with that at all. You go ahead and do what you got to do, but come on, man. Do you have to take money from the innocent citizens, the consumers of goods and services, the people who go out and work, the real middle-class people, the entry-level people? See, the scary part of all of that is it makes no sense. To take money from the disabled, to cut DEI, to cut back on research and development for things that can stop things like, the diseases that are going on with us right now. There's this outbreak in this country right now of this, something happened with people eating lettuce from, I forgot the name of the country, the company, that's manufacturing that lettuce. But the research and development around everything we can do to stop anything bad happening like that, our present administration cut the money. Drastically cut the money. And then you just stop and you say to yourself, why? WHY in America? So for me, I have to speak about, like I say, the latest trends in politics. I spoke about LeBron James, and I got to talk about the World Cup a little bit. And everybody loves the winner. Shout out to Spain, man. Do you know that 60 million people watched the World Cup? Especially that final game, I was one of them. And I'm not a big giant advocate of soccer. I, watch it every now and then. But I decided to go, whoa. And honestly, man, I said, man, this is great. I say this is truly incredible. Looking at my screen now, they're trying to tell me they're about to start an update. I'm sorry, I got distracted. That was like, no, don't cut me off. You already did that once. Let's keep this party happening tonight. Let's keep this happening tonight. Soccer, 60 million people. Everybody loves a winner is my point. It's something about sports. It's something about that challenge, that competitive mindset. Do you have one tonight? Because I'm about to shift gears now to the whole point of why I call the show Activate Stagnate. And let's just talk a little bit more about the people who are doing the things aside from politics, that they're making money no matter what. It is a very simple question that was going to be the premise of this whole show tonight. Do you have the ability to monetize a passion that you're not? Are there pain points around that? Are there toxic people and toxic environments around that? My links are right here on the screen right here. And one of them is to the Strive to Succeed Masterclass. It is every Thursday night. I'll definitely be there Thursday night. And it's truly about personal development, functioning at your maximum potential. An unconditional shout out for that class Thursday night. You come into the class, no cost to you. Give me 45 minutes to an hour. You take my personal assessment. You find out what's going on, where your pain points are, what's stagnating you, what's causing you to be a procrastinator, why you're living with poor time management. And we find out where those weak areas are. We don't have them. You may not want to be like I was talking about earlier before we got disconnected. I was forced to take pivots. Being a full-time musician all my life, and at the point where I was doing pretty good with it, bought a brand new W, bought a house. My wife at the time, my youngest son, Jonathan, maybe about a year old, and doing just great, man. Promised to keep my job there, been there 4 or 5 months, 6 nights a week, making a decent salary, living my dream, living my passion, doing what I'm talking to you all about. But I had to realize sometimes you're forced to take a pivot. And if you take my personal assessment, come into the Strive Masterclass, you can go to the activator.net. If you don't go and click that link right there, strive2succeed.net. There are 3 links right there right now. You click the one there that says the activator.net or strive2succeed.net, and in either one of them will get you to the funnel that will give you free registration. If you decide you want to come into my community, it's a very minimal monthly fee for that. If you just want me on once a month, if you want me 4 times a month, obviously that's going to go up because you're getting my intellectual properties. You're getting me to personalize and look at what's going on with you, where your pain points, where your toxicity as far as people and environment, bad habits. Help you become a better manager of your time. Do you realize that we got 24/7, 168 hours a week? I want to really just stop and get that sink in a moment. And imagine if you took 1 hour a day for 1 year, every single day, and you did nothing but say, you know what, man, that thing I love the most, I'm going to put my time and energy into it. Start with just 1 year at 1 hour a day. Some days you might have 2 hours. Some days you might get caught on the weekends with 3 hours, but minimum 1 hour a day for cognitive expansion in your passion, in your why. 1 hour a day, 365, that passion, that purpose, I promise you, something's going to happen. Whether you don't have a degree and you're going back to get one, whether you even have a degree and you want a master's degree, or whether you just want to get certified in something that you've always dreamed about, become a chef, open a bakery, open this mechanic shop, write your first book, become an inspiration to people, become someone that can motivate and inspire people through your lifestyle management. Work on your personal legacy and monetize it. You may need a little help along the way to do that. There's no way I could have ran these 25 marathons if I hadn't had some motivation in my life. I've had mentors, countless thousands of dollars I've invested in Gregory Griffith. So maybe you just might be on the bench about investing in yourself. Personal development is priceless. On Thursday nights, we do that. Every Tuesday when I'm here like this, I'm going to bring people on, entrepreneurs, people who are doing incredible things out here. And I'm not talking about high-end, super, a lot of the people we deal with, they're always these high-end people. There can only be a few Tony Robbins and Russell Brunsons and, people like that, Myron Goldens and people who are just out there making millions and millions of dollars a week and all that. You don't have to make that kind of money. My big question every week to anyone about activating or avoiding procrastination to stagnation is, what are you worth? What is your net worth? What are you trying to do? Where are you now versus where you want to be? That's priceless. Because when you can step back and analyze that, and realize, okay, I see where I'm at versus where I want to be. Maybe your net worth already worth, like I always say, a minimum $1 million. Maybe you're worth 10 million, but you want to be worth 15 million or 20 million. Maybe you're worth just 500,000 and you're trying to get to that million mark. But the point is, out of that 24/7, 116 hours a week, what are you carving? What are you stopping and saying to myself, I'm after this. I'm fired up about this. I'm so fired up about it. My faith faculty activated. I know that I'm personally empowered with relentless enthusiasm. I love it. Nothing can stop me. All the way up, as I always say to everyone on Thursday night. Man, when you get that kind of enthusiasm and you got a burning desire and you got a dream to do it, man, when I mentioned LeBron James today at 41 years old, he said something that was so profound in his press statement the other day. He said, man, I just got something left in me. I just still want to play this sport. And somebody said yes. He has several teams on the table, a true veteran in this industry, because you know what he brings? A winner's mindset. You know what he brings? Like LeBron James brings to everything he touched. The man is a billionaire. Straight out of high school, he got $90 million from Nike. Now he has lifetime for the rest of his life for his kids, money. Same thing with Michael Jordan. Air Jordan is forever. My question is to you, what's your product? What's your service before we got disconnected earlier? You need a little help to get activated? Are you sitting on the bench of procrastination? Do you feel stagnated? Can you take my 30, 60, 90-day challenge? Come to the class Thursday night. There's a link right there on the screen. Just click it. Just click that link. Come into the class, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. You would be just shocked. You would literally be shocked the potential you got to really, just function at your maximum potential. You hit that link right there that said it's a live link too. You know, if you want to scan it, you want to do copy and paste it, whatever you want to do, strive2succeed.net will put you into the Strive Masterclass, and it's always focused around the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why. What is your why in your life? You got to have a why. You got to have something that fires your ass up every time you wake up. You want it bad. When I coached my son in basketball, when he was just 10 years old, man, and we would get in the huddle, you guys, and everybody would huddle. I asked him, how bad you want it, baby? How bad do you want it? And they would say, real bad, coach. How bad you want it out there? Somebody I'm listening to and talking to over there on Facebook, on LinkedIn tonight, on YouTube tonight, over there on IG tonight. How bad do you want the next level of success? We all are impacted by everything that's going on around us, and there's so much going on. I only talked about the Haitians tonight, Ukraine, Zelensky, Netanyahu, but I tried to use people who have found a way around that. Because guess what? It's not our fault. Well, I'm going to say it ain't my fault because, there are billionaires running the country now, and the billionaires are bringing in billionaire friends so they can make more billions. So you got to have a combat system against that, baby. You got to say, well, let me keep climbing up to get my little piece of the pie. Let me keep climbing up to get my passion, my purpose, my possibilities going. Because I'm telling you the absolute truth now. Every one of the people I can sit here and talk to you about, we use a lot of entertainment and the athletes in sports are actresses and actors, because I like hearing about people like that who just decide I want it bad enough, like my kid would say when he was just 10 years old. And you don't talk to people about what they went through to get to. I always say you got to go through to get to. I watched a little documentary on the life of Nelson Mandela overnight, and Idris was the killer actor he is. Man, I almost forgot I'm just looking at him instead of Mandela. It was so powerful. Boy, it was so powerful about power. It was so powerful about power. Just like Diana Ross's daughter there, Tracy Helen Ross, she's got this thing where she travels all over the world by herself. And there was a segment on her about power. And she was standing in Africa rubbing a big, giant elephant. And she was saying, wow, it's something about how when you got a lot of power and at the same time you can be humble. versus people with power like Putin, people with power who are just shifting their power around trying to muscle out people. The people from Gaza, the Hamas, all those sick people who are out here making life or living hell for people, man. The only way to get over that is to get your own light under the sun, bro. And get prayed up. I will tell anybody every week when you see me, if you don't want me talking to you about your spirituality, don't come on my show. Don't come on here on Tuesday nights. Don't come in my masterclass on Thursday. Because we are mind, body, and spirit. Let no one fool you about that. I have to say, the more I've grown in my experience to activate the true spirit within me, the more I've been anchored in the reality that I know this power woke me up today, got me through this day, got me through 70 years of my life on this planet, gave me tenacity and audacity to function in the capacity. In other words, my TAC mentality, that TAC, TAC. You have to go in and nurture your spirit in order to get that TAC. It's not going to come from anywhere in the external world out there tonight. That's why I said sometimes you just might need someone who's already traveled some of those roads, done some of the things that you want to do. If you want to buy your first property, come on into our camp. You want to understand more about financial services? I have a financial services license. Come on into my camp. Meet my partners, my guy like Richard Brown, Stacy, Sabrina. These people around me, man, Junior Acosta, they are doing incredible things with just their intellectual properties. And I'm telling you, the day you wake up and say, I desire more, the day you wake up and look in the mirror and say, am I worthy of more? The day you wake up and say, can I define myself for the next level in my life? The day you wake up and say, this is not enough. I was a teacher 31 years, man. And it took 3 paychecks for me to realize, wait a minute, I love this profession. I was just so blessed to have a teaching job after all that going through with the roller coaster of the music business. I knew I would never quit the business, but I knew I wanted more stability. Being a father of 2 sons and what I went through with my oldest son, Greg Jr., not being able to really be there in the capacity because of my own instability in my life. I had far more stability as a parent second time around. And what that showed me, how much money I made as a teacher while I was still making just as much money as an entrepreneur. Who am I talking to tonight? What are you sitting on the bench of procrastination about? Maybe it's your first book. As we wrap up tonight, we're getting close to the end now. Maybe it's your first property. Maybe you want to become more financially literate and show other people how to do that and make money from that perspective. There's got to be something that you can say is uniquely yours, that nobody or nothing or no one can take from you, because it's innate, it's intrinsic, it's inherent, and it's inborn in you. We all got it. We all got it, man. And I'm a living witness. There never a bragging right from Gregory Griffith, Sr. Never a bragging right here. I'm just trying to tell you that if you desire the next level, to be a better version of yourself, and that little small voice that's not pushing you is pulling you away from your dream, then sometime you need to take that personal assessment. If you go to theactivator.net and you click on that personal assessment, even if you don't come into my masterclass on Thursday nights, I'm streaming live on Instagram, I'm streaming live on Facebook, and I have my Zoom with my PowerPoint here. You can join my 30, 60, 90-day Get Activated community. If you join me and stay with me for 3 months, if you join the Get Activated community or the 30 Days to a New You MPC, which stands for Maximum Potential Coaching Community, and you hang for 3 months with me, I'm going to give you a month free. So come on. I don't know. If you're doing the $997 a month with me, that's saving you $1,000. You get $4,000 worth of services for $3K. Excuse me. Come in on the basic level, $97 a month. Look at it. $3 a day and you in the camp. You go over to a little cup like this, man, and drop $3 a day in it for a month, and you come to see me. You know, we're about to wrap up the month of July now. We might as well say, come to see me at Labor Day. I don't care. But my point is this, man. You spend more than that at Starbucks. Aren't you worth it? Aren't your children worth it? Your financial peace of mind, isn't it worth it? You can learn how to create your own wealth, have access to, life insurance policies with equity in them. You don't have to have a FICO. You don't have to go to a bank. You can learn how to do these things. And you know something? It's something called Mr. Start Now or Mr. Wait Later. I was a victim of it. I was Mr. Wait Later. I knew about this stuff way back in my 20s and 30s. And now that probably cost me a couple of $100,000. I told both my sons about it. I looked up and I was talking to my younger son, and he decided to do it. He hadn't touched his money in almost a decade, and it's done grew to be something that if he called up and say, "Oh, send me 10K," you may not know how to do that from the perspective of life insurance. You may not know how to do that from the perspective of being in a position where you can have a lifetime payable annuity to you 20 or 30 years from now. You can have one. You can have it. You can get it from your job, but you can also have something that's yours no matter what your profession is. You know, so if, and a lot of people who are monetizing their passions are entrepreneurs, and a lot of them are not doing this. And I was a victim of finding that when the plug can get pulled on you and you don't feel comfortable, you feel uncertain, you got other young mouths to feed, and it's just that place where, oh boy, and that's when those pain points of financial pain points, mental, then it becomes stress to the point that it affects your physical. So you're mentally and physically knocked out. You're financially scrapped. It's something I call organized chaos. And I don't know who I'm talking to tonight. Before we wrap up, we got about 5 minutes. I want to say this to you. Organized chaos is probably existing in easily, I'm going to go with the same amount of people who are apathetic about the voting in this country. 35 to 45% of people are living in organized chaos. What is that, G? They're living with imbalance. They're going to a job they don't want to be in. They're staying in personal relationships they don't like. Or their relationship with me, myself, and I is a bad one. They don't feel good about themselves. And that's why I said, until you take the personal assessment, step back, look at it, and say, wait a minute, this is a dead-end street. I know the end result of this is not going to be favorable for me. I can readjust things. I can get off this bench of procrastination. I can readjust things. I can wake up, showing up at a job, fired up. Every time I show up, everybody feel my relentless enthusiasm. When I wrote that first book behind me, and I was so excited about it, I will never forget one of my colleagues telling me, I just wanted a little help with it. And she said, man, Mr. G, you're so fired up about this. I'll be glad to be of assistance. You want to live with that kind of relentless, contagious enthusiasm. It will empower you. It will energize you. It will excite you. Take my personal assessment. Find out where your pain points are. Find out where your weak areas are. But also find out this, where your passion is. What is your WHY as we wrap up tonight? Maybe you want to run your first marathon. Coming to my camp. G ran 25 of them. Never forget, on my 50th birthday, I set my own goal for myself. I went to New York City. I ran the New York City Marathon. I was 50, my friends. 50 years old, running a damn marathon. And in that same decade, I ran 20 of them. Physical. Your health is your wealth. Who am I talking to? Mental. Are people and things stressing you out to the point that you feeling like, oh, the walls are closing in? I was in one of my schools for 16 years. And I'll never forget waking up, coming in, and just got a vibe. Forgive me, I'll give me a little snip on my nose. I got a vibe. I see, what's up with this, man? I don't know, because I just bought a brand new Mercedes and I was so happy. Everything was going great for me. My singer Rachel Brown at the time had a #1 single in Billboard. You know, man, we had big contracts signed with all the top country clubs, and you know, man, I was making enough money just playing music that I made it in 3 or 4 months from what I did teaching the whole year. And I think I found, and guess what? They're out there, the haters. I won't ever forget those days in my life. And I finally decided to move on. And sure enough, when I knocked on the door, because I was grounded in my spirit, the universe heard me and sent me right down the street to a school for the last 11 years of my life, even closer. I would never forget that. I will never forget my experiences in the field of education with corporate America. I've had some highs, and trust me, my friend, even with my master's degree and 25 to 30 years of experience, lows. But the greatest high I ever got was when I recognized that I needed to take the pivot back in 1992, became a teacher, got my master's degree, one of the greatest credentials I probably ever say. I worked harder than getting my undergraduate for 4 years. What I worked for in 1 year, come on, man, 6 nights a week, substitute teaching in the daytime, a little baby boy less than a year old, taking him to the babysitters at night because his mama working at night. You know what I mean, man? Just on the grind. Didn't miss one Saturday. The only one we missed was because of Hurricane Andrew in South Florida. Who am I talking to? You're going to have the moments in the valley. Trust me, because that's where spirit is. And sometimes, man, as we say goodnight to you and I click out and go back to my music like I always start, where are you right now in the game of life? Have you activated your winner's mindset? Do you need some assistance with that? I'd like to see you out on Thursday nights. Go to my website, theactivator.net. You can take the personal assessment at no charge to you. If you want to come into my $97 a month community, come on in. Give me 3 months, you get a month free. If you want me on a more micro manageable level, maximum potential coaching, where we can really just get deeper with you, you meet with me every week for a month. And you do that for 90 days, and I'll give you another one. That's a quarter of your life. There's no way you could not tell me you will not be a new and better version of yourself. You will not be functioning more at your maximum potential. I done it. People thought I was cuckoo. And it wasn't until I got that fired up focus. When I bought my first building, the first thing I bought like a nut, instead of buying a little house and rehab it, I bought an apartment building with a laundry room in the back. And everybody thought I was crazy. And I ended up keeping that building for 20 years. And when I sold it, I got the exact amount of money back that I paid for it 20 years earlier. $250,000. And you know what Gregory Griffith did? And I went to a workshop just to rehatch myself last weekend. And I'm sitting there listening to all these things that I know I've already done in real estate. Buying, selling, flipping, holding, something called 1031 exchange. All kind of finding hard money, finding the money to just keeping it, staying on the grind and making it happen. Yeah, I got slapped down during COVID, but you know what? Never had to file bankruptcy. I'm so blessed to say I never had a foreclosure. I can just say this to you, that when you got yourself prayed up, when you got yourself living in alignment, when you know that you know who you are and whose you are and what wakes you up and what puts you to sleep, and that you say, I want to be a better version of myself. When you do that, man, the game is over. Everything is over. Nothing can stop you. I'm sitting here on this show like this tonight because I feel that. I have my Thursday night show because I feel that. I'm on a humanitarian mission to help people become a better version of themselves, define themselves, get fired up about life, love everything that they're doing in their lives. And trust me when I tell you this, man, the next level is always waiting. I'm Gregory Griffith. I had a great time again this week. I love doing these little solo shows because I hope if maybe only 10% of this kicked in with you tonight, if only 20% of it got you tonight, that you get up off the bench of procrastination, that, you know, you decide, I want want to get my swag on. That's right, man. Just stop and think about it for a minute. The next level is waiting. The Activated Stagnate Show. Try to tell somebody about it, what we're doing on Tuesday nights. I'm looking forward to Johnny James coming up. A great old musician friend of mine, man, toured all over the world, living his life as a musician. I'm going to always find these entrepreneurs and bring them on. They won't be billionaires, but they'll be people like you and I who started from the bottom, living their passion, living their purpose, and living infinite possibilities. So come on out Thursday night now. You can always register. You'll see invites all over IG from me. If you DM the word succeed or DM the word action, I got some strategies for you, man, that'll take you to the next level. That won't cost you nothing but time. So till the next time, hey, I hope Thursday night. Come on and register and come on into the Get Activated community. See ya. But I don't know what's happening with me now. I had a little sorry about that. A little nose, man. You know? Boy.